Here's something that surprises almost everyone. The people with the highest intelligence often don't feel smart at all. They feel like frauds. They lie awake replaying a mistake from years ago. They walk into a room full of confident people and quietly assume everyone else has it more figured out than they do. If that sounds familiar, this might explain more about you than any test score ever could. We have this cartoon idea of what a highly intelligent person looks like. Fast talker, always has the answer, wins every argument. But real high intelligence tends to look very different from that and often a lot quieter. So let's talk about what it actually looks like from the inside, because the signs are rarely the ones people brag about. Let me get one myth out of the way first. Intelligence is not the same as being loud, quick, or certain. In fact, some of the loudest, most certain people you'll ever meet are running on the least self-awareness. Genuine intelligence usually comes wrapped in doubt, because the more you actually understand, the more clearly you can see everything you don't. That's not a weakness, it's a feature of a mind that keeps looking closer. So before we go further, ask yourself this. Do you tend to feel more certain about things the more you learn, or less? Because your honest answer to that question says a lot. Sign 1. You question yourself constantly. Highly intelligent people are often haunted by their own thoughts, examining every decision from 6 angles, second-guessing what they just said, replaying conversations at night. It's exhausting. But it comes from a mind that refuses to accept easy answers, even its own. The irony is brutal. The very thing that makes you doubt your intelligence is often the proof of it. Sign 2. You're comfortable saying, "I don't know." This one seems backwards, but it's one of the clearest signals there is. It takes a genuinely secure mind to admit the limits of what it understands. People who need to look smart can never say those 3 words. People who actually are smart say them all the time because they'd rather find the truth than protect an image. Sign 3. You notice patterns everywhere. Connections between ideas that seem unrelated. The link between a movie you watched and a problem at work. The repeating shape of history of relationships of your own behavior. Your brain is constantly running in the background, stitching the world together, and sometimes it hands you an insight fully formed out of nowhere, and you can't even explain how you got there. Sign 4. And this is a heavy one. You often feel alone in how you think. Not lonely for company necessarily, but alone in a deeper way. Like your mind moves at a frequency the rooms around you aren't tuned to. You have thoughts you can't fully share because unpacking them would take an hour, so you just stay quiet and nod. Many highly intelligent people carry this quiet solitude for their whole lives, and they rarely talk about it. Let me pause here and ask you something. Have you ever finished explaining an idea you found thrilling, looked up, and realized the other person checked out 3 sentences ago? That specific loneliness is something a lot of bright people know very well. Sign 5. You have a deep, restless curiosity. You fall down research rabbit holes at 2 a.m. You want to know how things work, why people do what they do, what's underneath the surface of everything. Boredom is almost painful for you, not because you need entertainment, but because your mind needs fuel. And an unstimulated, intelligent mind starts to eat itself with overthinking. Sign 6. You're surprisingly hard on yourself. You hold yourself to standards you'd never impose on anyone else. A 95 out of 100 feels like a failure because you're fixated on the 5 you missed. This is where high intelligence can quietly turn against you, because a sharp mind makes an extremely effective inner critic. The same brain that solves hard problems can dismantle your self-worth with frightening precision. Sign 7. You adapt fast and get bored faster. You can pick up new skills quickly, which sounds like a gift, and it is. But it has a shadow. Once you've cracked how something works, the challenge evaporates and you lose interest. This is why a lot of intelligent people have a graveyard of half-finished projects and abandoned hobbies. It's not laziness. It's a mind that's already solved the interesting part and moved on. Sign 8. You feel things more intensely than you let on. There's a strong link between deep thinking and deep feeling. Your mind doesn't just analyze a situation it absorbs, it turns it over, imagines every angle, including all the painful ones. This is why so many thoughtful people are also sensitive people. The same imagination that generates brilliant ideas also generates vivid worries. You don't just think a lot, you feel a lot quietly. Sign 9. You value depth over speed. In a world that rewards the fastest answer, you'd rather take your time and get it right. You dislike shallow small talk and light up in real conversations. You'd choose one honest searching discussion over 100 surface-level exchanges, and you sometimes feel out of step with a culture that seems built for the opposite. And assign 10 may be the most important one. You suspect you might not be that smart at all. If you've watched this far quietly wondering whether any of this really applies to you, whether you're actually intelligent or just imagining it, I want you to sit with something. That very doubt is one of the most consistent signs there is. Psychologists have long noticed a strange pattern where capable people underestimate themselves while less capable people wildly overestimate themselves. The doubt isn't proof you're ordinary. It's often a fingerprint of a mind that sees itself clearly enough to question itself. So here's the reframe I want to leave you with. If you recognized yourself in these signs, your intelligence may never have looked like the confident, fast-talking stereotype. It probably looks like doubt and depth and a restless mind that won't stop asking questions. It looks like feeling a little alone in how you think and a little too hard on yourself and a lot more curious than the people around you. And here's the part that actually matters. Intelligence on its own isn't the prize. Plenty of brilliant people are miserable because a sharp mind pointed at yourself becomes a weapon. The real gift is learning to aim it well, to let yourself say, "I don't know," without shame. To let a 95 be a triumph, not a failure. To find the few people who think at your frequency so the loneliness eases. To use that powerful mind to understand yourself with compassion, not just to critique yourself with precision.